that is a yes.
If you didn't know already, this is Walter Thomas III, WT3 Racing. Yours truly, Ty Slayer, GTA Sports. As you can see, my Indiana Pacers are going to the NBA Finals.
Yes, they are. That they are.
It's official.
Yo, last night was live too, man.
Tell them about last night.
Listen. So we're down here in India. So I live downtown Indianapolis, and so we of course have tickets to go because it's sold out. And once again, we're a part of that era of the dark ages. I can remember getting.
We have been trashed for so long.
Like I remember getting nosebleeds for like $20. You couldn't give away Pacer tickets, and to now know that because I had floor seats for a particular game and how much those were going for.
Right.
Holy crap! They were reselling and going for upwards of like $6,000 to $10,000.
Damn.
Yeah.
Game 6.
Game 4. Game 3. Here in Indy, not New York.
Wow.
Here. So last night we went to a bar called Kilroy's and we watched the game there, which they just knocked down some buildings so you can literally see Banker's Life right there outside of the door because we were in the back of Kilroy's. So we were right there.
Wow.
You could hear the eruption from the crowd coming outside of the actual not stadium, but the actual place itself.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool to experience because you've seen it so many times on videos of other cities like New York, for example, just tearing up New York and just being a big party.
Right.
Man, seeing those people just flood out of everywhere. So the hotels, the restaurants, the stadium itself, home, everywhere, and just all this gold. And having a good time. It's a traffic jam, but nobody's mad that it's a traffic jam. So people are honking their horns. We got people going down with flags and doing burnouts in the middle of the street. And it's just a party.
It felt like we won a championship.
We've been waiting so long to be a winner.
Right.
And this is only our second time ever getting a conference final championship in history.
You would have thought we won the NBA Finals.
And it felt so good.
Right.
It felt so good.
On a Saturday.
Man, and the night was so live. We hit up a couple different places between 16-bit arcade. We hit up Tin Roof. Like I said, we started out in Kilroy's, and it was something I'll tell my kids about one day.
For sure.
Yeah, it was just so cool. And what a time to be downtown. And now coming off of that, and then we got All-Star here not too long from now for the WNBA.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. It's just, I'm glad I'm down here. I am. I'm super glad I'm down here right now. They sent me a thingamajig, and I didn't even realize it. Proceed with talk about some more.
Oh man, so of course I felt validated and vindicated because I predicted the Pacers in 6 against the New York Knicks. If you watch the videos I put on this particular page, GTA Sports, I put out some ISO modes where I talked about the New York Knicks winning at least 2 games, but I knew we had to get it done. Gamebridge, at home, Game 6. Had to be done. I did not want us to go back to New York for Game 7 because it put everything in balance where the Knicks had a shot to actually upset us.
Were you worried at all Brock might not be able to?
Whoops.
So you good.
No, you're
So,
good. Trying to add another account on my iPad.
no, you're good. The Oklahoma City Thunder. #1 team in the league.
Yep.
Now, we already beat the #1 in the East in the Cavaliers. Not taking nothing away from them. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, #1 in the league. 68 wins in the regular season.
Aren't they #1 defense?
No, that was Cleveland.
No, I meant in the West.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting. We were #1 for offense, I believe, in the East.
And we had #1 in pace.
Yeah.
I believe it.
No, I believe it.
But Thunder were right there with us. They're top 3.
I'm interested to see how this plays out.
It's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, because once again, the longest, I feel like, being a long-time Pacers fan, especially our last time, I feel like we had a good squad. I feel like we got outdone because of our bench. The other team's bench was so much better.
This year, we're going bench for bench.
Yeah.
Shot for shot.
Man, because honestly, I feel like with our bench, I think we had this conversation before, we could take out the people who...
We beat essentially every team that was the best in the league this year. We beat them outside of the Thunder.
I'm saying those people who are on the bench could be starting 5
Yeah,
somewhere else.
absolutely.
All of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're doing great.
Yeah.
Great between when somebody has to come out to give somebody else a break,
Mhm.
it's still not messing up the gameplay anyway.
No.
It's actually like damn like a Arsenal. It's like now, damn, we gotta change up our way of doing stuff now because
Well,
TJ that came in.
Right. Look
you
at
know.
look at what Matherin, you know, Walker before he got hurt. Thomas Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look at that and it's like, okay, we can throw anybody we want at you.
Yep.
Give our starters rest
Yep.
whenever we need them, and still have them ready for the fourth quarter. More times than not in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And well rested enough to finish the last 5 minutes out of a game and close out.
No facts. It's true.
And shout out to Rick Carlisle.
Oh, absolutely, man.
He's been to the NBA Finals 6 times in his career as a coach. I think as a coach and a player.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he used to do stuff with the Pacers back in the day?
He was the assistant coach for
That's
Larry
what I thought.
Bird.
That's what I thought.
Fun fact. Thibodeau was the assistant coach for Van Gundy when we used to go against him 25 years ago. So
Really?
both the head coaches of the Eastern Conference Finals went against each other as assistant head coaches back in the day.
Wow.
Thibodeau was the assistant coach to Stan Van Gundy.
That's crazy.
So when the Knicks and Pacers were going at it,
Yeah.
Thibodeau and Carlisle were the assistant coaches to the head coaches.
Wow.
So they went against each other as assistant coaches
So-
and head coaches 25 years later.
Wow, that's crazy.
Full circle.
That is a full circle moment.
Full circle.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because Rick Carlisle used to look just like Jim Carrey back in the day.
Yeah, I can see that.
And him and Larry Bird was going to be Thibodeau had more hair.
Yeah.
Him and Van
I was
Gundy.
about to say Rick Carlisle. Like, man, why is that name sound so
Because he was our
familiar?
head coach.
Yeah,
He
he's assistant coach. Yeah,
Well, he took Larry's place when Larry left.
that's right. Okay.
So
well, I couldn't
Rick
remember.
Carlisle was our head coach when Reggie retired.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say because I couldn't remember if he was under Larry Brown or not. I knew he was under Larry Bird.
under Larry Bird,
possibly.
yeah.
I didn't know if he was there.
And
when Larry
then
Brown was
eventually
there.
when, you know, I don't want to say he fell out with the Pacers, but he ended up going to Dallas.
Yeah, makes
When
sense.
we went through our dark age
Yeah.
and we got Vogel,
Yeah.
that's because Carlisle left.
Uh,
And he ended up winning with Dirk. And,
Yep.
And then he was there when Luka got there, and they weren't really vibing too well.
Mhm.
He always had a house here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was he there when he wasn't there when Brunson got drafted there, was he?
He was.
That's crazy.
He was.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Brunson was off the bench, coming off the bench. Yeah.
Wow.
Rick Carlisle was there for that. Rick Carlisle was there with Porzingis, Luka, and Brunson.
Wow.
And then when Brunson around that time, that's when we got Carlisle back around that time.
Interesting.
Yep. He was there for that, for the early inception of it.
That's interesting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is Rick Carlisle he's been in this situation before, and he's won, so he knows what it takes to get there. It's you know, and he keeps it. If you ever watch his locker room when they do show the locker room conversations post game, he keeps it very simple.
Yeah.
He a few words, but he just 4 more games. 4 more games.
Doing good. You? Doing great. That's Sam. Yeah, like I said, just talking about the experience of being in downtown Indy right now. Yo, the vibes is dope. Right
25 years since we've been to Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals.
Yeah, I was 2. Well, I wasn't even 2. I was 1 going on 2 last time.
Yeah, then that puts me at 6. 5 going on 6.
Can you remember back then of us? Because I ain't gonna lie,
No.
I remember seeing
No.
T-shirts
Yeah.
of the Pacers going to the
Yeah.
finals, and
Uh-huh.
I swear to God, I was like, when do we ever go to the finals? When I
Right.
was a kid, I was like, when do we go?
And
to
I
the
used to see a
finals?
lot of the conference final shirts from '98. I used to see those.
Yeah, I was like, when do we go? Because I do not remember.
Mm-hmm.
But right back at you.
So, to be able to, like I told you, not
Yeah.
be an old man and see the Pacers going to the finals, I'm still in my
Dude.
prime years. That is a blessing.
What's so crazy? I haven't even been down here that long, but I feel like I've been a part of so many historical moments downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Because starting in January when I went to the Royal Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
that was an attendance record for Royal Rumble in WWE, and also
For
it
Bankers
was
Life.
Not Bankers Life, but
Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil Stadium.
Right.
I think they had 70,000 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, that's definitely the biggest event I've ever been
To the brim.
outside of the Indy
Mhm.
500,
Yeah.
actual stadium attendance,
Right.
that's the biggest thing I've ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
So then, even with something good, just out by the show, yeah, I do. I appreciate that. Hey, once again, this is something new. This is my first time going live. Wanted to make sure since my brother was here, he hopped in as well, and want to say what's up to y'all too. So just trying something new. I know I talk about a lot of racing stuff and also random stuff from time to time, whether
Yeah.
it be the toy stuff or sports or
sports, music,
fashion, maybe.
fashion definitely. But today we're still coming off the high of the Indiana Pacers going to the finals,
dude.
right?
It's been once again, we the job still isn't done, but
4 more.
man, coming is once again, I can remember like the 2008 version of the Indiana
Oof.
Pacers,
Oof.
and it was like it wasn't as bad as being like a Bobcat fan.
Nah, but it wasn't too far off.
But it hurt because you
Yeah.
knew how good we were at the time, especially during the Reggie days.
Yeah.
So
2004, 2005.
it hurt, and then even
Yeah.
going through the rebuilding phase, and when we got the Paul George and the Miles Turners,
Yeah.
and it still hurt because knowing we had Kawhi Leonard and saw where he went and how far he was able to go so early in his career, and still looking like, damn,
We could have had that.
we just wanted to be a winner.
Right.
And so getting that stage of, you know, when they finally built a good team around Paul George, and then the success we had running into the Heat, and then that kind of disrupted that, and then Paul George breaking his leg, and it was just, it hurt. It's been hard.
Knee injury.
Yeah,
that was his
him
mentor.
away.
That was his
Yeah.
mentor.
Yeah.
That was PG's guy. So you know, we've seen the team go through a lot of changes.
Where are you guys from? Indianapolis, Indiana.
Home, baby.
Yeah, so we're
We home.
born and
We
raised
homers.
here. If you're familiar with the comedian Mike Epps, literally same area that he's from. East side of Indianapolis.
East side.
So y'all been seeing us kind of, I guess, going a little bit viral a little bit with Jiggle 8, you know, getting a resurgence. I have not checked the views on that in a while, but it's been going viral again.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And I'll let y'all know now. I feel bad about saying this. I told you this morning.
Yeah.
Did not know that originated from here.
Yeah.
Because I was so young when that song came out. I thought it was just a bop everywhere.
Understandable. I had enough knowledge of the music scene because I was just getting into it around that time, really.
Because that puts you like, you remember how you were?
I had to been 16.
Yeah, so you was part of those grainy videos of people hitting Jiggle 8.
Yeah, I was about 16. Yeah, I was 15, 16 when that became a big deal, and I just wish that the artists at that time were able to capitalize the way they are now when it comes to the independence, when it comes down to maximizing or optimizing going viral or having a dance that goes global.
Yo, and once again, I did not realize how big that was.
Yeah.
And it came from Post Road.
Yep, it did.
And once again,
A road that we traveled a lot growing up, by the way.
let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Being an East Sider.
Go ahead.
So, just to give y'all a little bit of background, me and my brother grew up off of 42nd Arlington.
Yeah, 42nd Arlington.
42nd Arlington,
and then also too, because we were bouncing back for every day.
Yeah,
we also
grandmother's house.
over in Carriage House on 42nd and Malvern too. So
Yeah.
so when we say East Side, we go from East Side to far East Side because
far.
we cross in between Minhoff and German Church. So definitely.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
parents being off 42nd Arlington, then like I said,
Grandparents.
literally every day after
Every day
school,
we were over grandma's
pretty
house.
much at our grandmother's house and Carriage House.
Yep.
So I believe the guys who made that, were they off of 42nd and Post?
Pretty much.
I think.
That was the area
like that
they.
Brightwood area? Or?
That's not Brightwood.
Not Brightwood, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
It'd be called Lawrence.
Well,
as far
Lawrence,
as township, but
well,
as far as that 42nd Post.
yeah, what are the apartments over here that they closed down?
Oh man, Oak Brook.
That's
The ones
what's
they tore
throwing me
down.
off. Yep,
yeah,
that's what's throwing me off.
and
Yeah.
Three Fountains.
Yeah, Three Fountains,
Yeah,
yep,
and
yep,
Sudden
yep.
Place, all that, and Postbrook,
Yeah,
all
Sudden Place.
that. So Postbrook, Sudden Place, Three Fountains, and then Oak Brook is the ones they tore down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that part,
Yeah.
right off the corner, right
so
there.
always being over in that area, once again, it's different living there day to day.
Yeah.
I know, but dude, it's not as bad as what people make it out to be.
It ain't, especially now.
No,
Especially
especially not now. Like I said,
No.
hell, even Kyla being off of 38th and Post, and Isaiah being off 38th and
man,
Post. I spent so much time over there,
Yeah.
whether it be at the Taco Bells or the McDonald's over there.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
It's like any other neighborhood. You stay out the way.
yeah, don't do nothing you're not
Don't
supposed
do
to be
nothing
doing.
stupid.
You know,
You know where you at. Act accordingly.
Yeah.
That's it.
that's what I'm saying. So just
Yeah.
be aware of your surroundings
All the time.
and respect the area.
Absolutely.
Just respect the area. Don't be doing that stupid.
Yeah.
That's
For sure.
once again any place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we get the Colts in line.
You know, that's always been like the running joke. We can never get the Colts and Pacers good at the same time.
Yeah.
Because when the Colts won Super Bowl, Pacers were in the dark ages.
Oh, it's terrible.
They were god awful.
Terrible time.
All right. For the time the Colts won, and then we had the Super Bowl here in 2012. That's when the Pacers were doing good, and the Colts weren't. Because remember,
Yeah.
the Colts were having a bad year,
Yeah.
but the Pacers were going up against Miami.
Yep.
So it's like we can never get them to be good at the same time.
No. And then, like I said, it's interesting, like I said, just to be down here at a time where the Pacers are doing good. The Fever.
Hey.
Who would have ever thought?
Woo!
How many championship Fever games have we been to already?
So here's the deal with the Fever, okay?
We had an all-star. We had Tamika Catchings.
Well, here's the thing, though. And I don't know if you remember this, but the game we went to as kids,
Yeah.
had they won that game, that was a championship game.
It was. I remember.
They choked,
Yep.
and they went to Phoenix, and that gave the Phoenix Mercury their first championship.
Yep.
I believe that was 09.
Yep. 09. Yep.
All right, so that was Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner's first championship.
Damn. It
Yeah,
was.
yeah. We went to that game.
Yeah.
Game 5. They had it. They remember I showed you they had the
They did. They was
had
ready.
they had everything, confetti and everything ready. They lost. They went to Phoenix and lost.
I remember that. Wow.
So then they turned around and won, I believe, in 20. What's that?
2011?
2012?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So to me, they did finally get one in 2012.
Yeah.
So again, Fever have won. They have gotten one.
Yeah.
Came close a few other times.
Yeah, honestly. I think like 2014, like not too long after that.
Yeah, because Stephanie White was part of those teams too.
Yep.
Who's now the head coach.
So it's interesting. I don't know. You could really speak on this,
What's up?
but how much the city has gotten behind the Fever now, because I can remember during their dark ages,
Ooh.
on the ground level,
Ooh.
what did they do? They took out the seats, and what did they put in there for Cameron?
It was a slide.
They put an inflatable slide
Yeah,
for
they couldn't
kids
fill the seats.
during the games to go down during.
They had a whole
Yeah.
section behind one of the courts, not the court where the locker rooms are, but the opposite court, where they took all the seats out because they couldn't give away the tickets.
No, they couldn't.
And you could get floor seats for cheap, under $100
No,
at one
facts,
point.
Facts.
Being I had a media pass, I didn't have to worry about. I had credentials. Yeah, that's a funny story about that. All right, but I'm gonna keep it simple for y'all because I don't want to get too political about it. But again, there's a time where if you're an independent media network like a GTA Sports, and a team is averaging, I don't feel bad saying this because I said it already. It's already documented. They were averaging 4 wins per season. Okay,
Right.
give or take. And it was only a 40-game season, so you do the math, right? More losses than wins, okay? It's one of those things where you say, okay, you can have a small independent media company come and cover the games because they appreciated the fact that we were even trying to get them the exposure. Now that they have talent and wins under their belt, and this is just in one season.
Yeah.
One. I've been getting numerous emails and reports from other independent companies saying that they haven't been able to get into the games now.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's one of those back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me type situations.
No, facts.
Word to
And
Mike Jones.
I remember I had a real close friend who worked for the Pacers, and she was
Game
telling
has
me,
changed.
yo, like the season tickets, I wish we would have went ahead. We could have got like floor seats, like season tickets at the Fever for like crumbs.
Not no more.
Crumbs. No.
Not anymore.
I could guarantee you they rival some of the small markets, maybe even more than some certain small market NBA games.
Put it in perspective. There are games that they scheduled this season that they knew, and they did it Caitlin's rookie year too, during the season, where they moved the games because the arenas weren't big enough. They had to play them in NBA arenas to accommodate for the team.
And you saw how it started with, they had us going right up against Chicago's team.
Yeah.
So
off the rip, first game.
They already knew, and it was here.
Yeah. Now, funny you brought that up. Since we're here, due to Caitlin Clark's injury, because she's had a quad injury, quad strain on her left leg, I believe. They said that she'd be out 2 or 3 weeks. There was a match coming up in Chicago that was they had moved it to the United Center.
Yep.
But now they don't know if they're going to sell out like they were going to because Caitlin's not playing.
That's crazy.
And they're expecting the ratings to drop for
Really?
games. Remember all those nationally televised games they got this year? They're going to lose some money because Caitlin's not playing. That's how unstable, in my honest opinion, that the current WNBA is in. The instability is you're riding off one player. So when that player gets hurt,
why is that though?
She brings the hype.
But why?
I don't know. That part I haven't figured out yet. Because there are flaws in her game that I'm not afraid to talk about, and her fans can leave comments below and let me know what you think. But she's a cone on defense. She plays no defense at all. great scorer. But
Yeah.
when you want to be a great ball player, anybody that's played ball will tell you, you got to be able to play on both sides of the court. You cannot be a cone on defense. And Caitlin Clark is a cone.
Mm.
So for the league to be riding on the shoulders of a player that doesn't even play defense, I mean, it's that's suspect in itself. But I do believe you have enough talent across the league that it should be more stable as far as the talent, as far as the eyes, the viewership, the fan base. You got to find a way to market all of your star players and not just Caitlin Clark.
Fair.
That's my issue with that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really get it why.
They're banking on one player.
Yeah, that doesn't sound smart.
It's
Because
not.
once again, like they have
It's not.
a
Injuries-
literal position that they're in now.
Injuries can
whereas-
occur, and then
Yeah.
you have to worry about the backlash. Not to mention, as of today, while we're recording this live, they have not come to an agreement yet on a new collective bargaining agreement. So they're looking at a potential lockout next summer.
Ooh.
If they don't come to an agreement before,
Now, do they have as many lockouts as like the NBA has had?
this would be like their first one. I
Really?
think ever.
Wow. Okay.
You gotta remember how young the league is. The
Yeah, it's like
league's only
95, since
yeah,
95,
the
it's
league's
like
only
30.
like 30 something
Yeah.
years old. So they're at that point that the NBA was at where they had to go through those lockouts, like
Yeah.
not the 99 lockout.
Oh,
for
yeah,
instance.
yeah, yeah.
That was like a really big deal.
I remember that. I remember
You know?
hearing about that.
So
yeah.
where you got to come to an agreement. If you don't, there could be a potential lockout. Then you got other leagues like Unrivaled that are paying way
true.
more and doing what the W should have been doing. Now the pressure's on. You got other leagues that are popping up and developing because players are putting their money in endorsement deals and they're getting these large companies to invest in a new league because the W either is archaic
Yep.
or not up with the times.
Well, that makes you also think too how much does social media play into that now with
Absolutely.
the other ones being able to get
It controls the narrative.
Exactly.
You know?
So that actually brings me into my next point.
Go ahead.
What do you think we need to do differently to get our stuff out there more on social media?
Well, going live for starters, that's the move now. Streaming things that we haven't tapped at. I mean, I'm just going off things I know we haven't done yet. Enough of
Mm-hmm.
going live, streaming, giving you guys real unfiltered conversations because we have these conversations all the time.
All the time. Literally.
But
been
we
talking
just
about
never
this
filmed
all
them.
along.
We just decided to bring you guys into this conversation. And for those of y'all that, follow me, I mean, I do have a TikTok as well, but because I haven't used it live yet, it was giving me hell.
Yeah, we
So-
literally was on the spur of the moment. I was
Yeah.
like, pull out your phone. We're both gonna go
So
live. at the
I
same
gotta wait
time.
for them to verify my age. Apparently, they don't believe I'm my age or AI or something. So once they find out I am a real person,
Yeah.
I am a real person because I'm on live on YouTube right now. GTA Sports, by the way. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe there. That's where we at right now over here.
Walter Lee Thomas III,
Hey.
Showtime,
So-
Walter 45, all that.
Yes, if you haven't already, subscribe. So, consistency, not just popping up on a random Sunday fresh off of a Game 6 win like we are right now. Okay,
Dude, man.
we're doing it today, but we need to do this more often. We need to have
agree.
days where
I
we
agree.
just, if we're not, we work a lot. We work a lot. I know we're in that economy where you got to have at least 2 sources of income minimum. Okay, we're part of that, so we do work a lot throughout the week.
Yeah, it's
So
built.
us going live together, of course, can't happen all the time, but we're looking at ways to incorporate that. We're looking at ways to find within the chaos of our schedules
Yeah.
where we can go live with you guys more often, bring you guys into our somewhat intimate conversation.
No, right. Because
You
both of us are very strategic with
We recorded a lot of conversations over. We just talked this
Yeah,
this morning,
we got a lot. of
but we
change.
never dropped them.
Yeah, I
Dropped
got a few.
Yeah,
I just don't never really post
Just
them.
never dropped them.
It's not that they're bad or anything. It's just
We
like
was in our own heads about it.
you're like So
Yeah, we
once
like
again,
it. Yeah.
trying to do some new stuff, step out of the comfort zone. and
Definitely.
once again, you never
I
know
never
what you'll
been a
run
fan of
into.
going live. I ain't gonna lie to
So,
you.
like I said, if you're just checking in, we're literally just on here just shooting the shit and talking about different stuff with sports, different stuff with strategic stuff going on,
Yeah.
social media stuff. Because me and this is also my older brother, we talk about
Mhm.
and do a lot of different things. So different hats, whether it's like I said with the race car stuff that I do, I'm a local drag racer here, just trying to find different ways to get my name further out in the city and get some more partnership and brand deals to be able to afford to do it more often in bigger markets and also too around some of the smaller markets around here in Indy. And I know with you've got your own stuff.
Of course,
going on.
I do music. I never been as active on the music scene, but you guys do know I GTA Sports Network. I cover the NBA, WNBA, NFL, drag racing.
Yeah, and then racing in general, because
You know.
also with that, I've got a big background in, a lot of circle track and,
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR style of racing.
So anytime you see me with him, 9 times out of 10, I'm covering a racing event.
Yeah.
If not a car show, something car related.
Something car related,
Because
car shows or car meets or.
This guy's a multi-generational, race car driver. So
yeah, father, grandfather, both raced, and
so,
just keeping the legacy going.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just trying to find ways to optimize what we bring to the table. As far as TikTok, we know that TikTok has its own personal algorithm, as well as YouTube, respectfully. And we're just trying to figure out a way to maximize it, because we're seeing people that we believe do way less, get way more with less.
Yeah, and we know we have substance. We're not just going to be sitting on here just having you guys look at us.
No,
and we're
just over here just scrolling, looking at, doing research. But we will, if we have something we feel can be beneficial or a service that we can provide for you and you, we will bring it to you. That's really what this is about, is just bringing you into our world.
Yeah.
Beyond the polished, glamorous side of things. Like when you say you're a race car driver, I mean, the people's eyes open like, oh.
Well, right, because it's so, I understand it's damn near like, it's so rare, because you're black.
And you're a race car driver.
Yeah, then of course, and they're like, oh, you're from Indy, so you're trying to do like IndyCar stuff, and it's like, no. So I drag race, and they're like you dress up like a chick? No. No. That's drag queen. And I understand they have a show called Drag Race.
Drag Race, yeah.
But no, different, something completely different. I was like, we drag race. It's literally just the simplest form of describing it, if you're not familiar with it, is you got two cars. They go head to head, and whichever one gets to the finish line first wins.
Absolutely.
That's the most simplest way that I can describe it if you're not familiar with it. Yeah. So that's the form of racing I currently do now, but I have, like I said, done different styles of racing, mainly oval racing, so different slew of cars, whether it's, junior dragsters, bandoleros, legend cars, late models. I've raced a lot of different things, but I realize a lot of people just don't know that about me, because I've talked about it, but I have a completely different crowd from that particular time when a lot of that stuff was going on.
Yeah.
To also get some background, I'm 26 and have been racing since the age of 4. And like I said, I come from a long lineage of race car drivers, and I got started extremely young, and had ambitions of becoming a full-time NASCAR driver at a particular time, but also just stuff didn't work out in the stars, like I guess in that particular way yet. But also I'm not closing the door on that. Just the timeline just changed in a sense of priorities and also opportunities. Once Dad realized he wanted to rebuild the race car, and I saw that was a better opportunity for me at this particular time in my life to chase that, since that always was the original idea and thing that I wanted to do with my life. Man, I jumped on top of that because and then I start meeting certain people that could help me like get further at a quicker pace, and even way better than I ever imagined it would. Man, it was almost just stupid if we didn't jump on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into that, I mean, he kind of gave you a very brief synopsis of his humble beginnings, if you will. Some of you may know me as the Music Man. I mean, before I did sports, I mean, I played ball and everything, but music was like number one, right? And it still is. It's 1A, 1B when it comes to sports. They're like hand in hand. They both kind of started around the same time.
Facts.
Our grandmother that we spoke on a little earlier definitely opened up the doors for me as far as the music scene goes, and it basically said, look, well, I wanted to take that a little further and start writing my own songs, and that led into me meeting other people that like to rap and get into hip hop. Whether it be the fashion side of things or the lyrics of it, the East Coast, West Coast stuff. We dived into all of that, and I pretty much ran with that and got to a certain point. And life be throwing little curveballs at you. Went off to college, did my thing there, and in the midst of doing music as an artist, I got into the actual radio side of things at Ball State with my crew there. Shout out to those guys, Third Floor crew and everything. We put something very special together known as Midnight Soul, and we became a globally trending radio show, late night show at that, from midnight to 2 a.m. With WCRD 91.3 at Ball State, And when Twitter was in its infancy, so we're talking like, this is 2011 to 2015. I think Twitter started in 2009, so it was still in its first like year or two of existence, right?
So crazy. I actually had a Twitter back
I
then.
did too.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Cause you, for the longest, I think your picture was you thought the deuces. Yeah, I remember that.
Had the messy cornrows too.
Yeah, man. So taking the music into the radio space and R&B, hip hop. I started getting my interview experience there at WCRD, interviewing people. That's where all that started. I'm gonna age myself a little bit by saying this, since we're on a live right now. We, before YouTube and TikTok really because YouTube was still in its infancy too. They didn't have a live option yet. I had DJ Legacy TV on Ustream.
I remember that.
Yes. So what I would do is,
man.
Yeah. So what I would do is, because we couldn't curse or nothing on the air, FCC regulated. Got to keep it professional, keep it clean. In between, when the music was playing, we'd be on Ustream.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
You know what's so crazy? There was an interview that I think I did with you back in the day, and I remember when I learned you were. I don't know if you were using the Ustream at the time, but we were at your old apartment, and I remember you said something along the lines of, "Yeah, we can say pretty much anything on here." I was like, "Holy shit, we could cuss on here!"
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I remember the other guy we had at the time, because I was like still like a teenager.
Yeah.
So I remember the other guy we had in there at the time. He was like, "Hey man, you might not want to, have that as your image of cussing." But once again, I've been one of those kids, been cussing forever. It's part of my
I didn't have
vocabulary.
Ustream at that point. I know what you're talking about. You're referring to the apartment ones on Washington Street.
Yeah.
And we had the
I
mics
thought that
and
was the coolest house.
so
Holy
at that
shit.
time, so we'll get to that, because you jumped a little bit. That was after.
Yeah.
That was Body and Soul Radio. We'll get to that. But so again, Ustream TV. I didn't know at the time. This is what happens when you're a trailblazer. It's the blessing and the curse of being a trailblazer. You don't know what you don't know until you find out. And I was podcasting before podcasting was a term. I didn't know that yet. I didn't know that yet. Hey, little history lesson. I didn't know that yet. Because podcasting hadn't become a thing yet.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just reading.
No, you're good. You're good.
Still learning this stuff.
So I take that, and we ended up leaving Ball State in 2015, and I started doing internet radio. Don't ask me what the site was. I don't remember now, but I created Body and Soul Radio through there. Taking the Midnight Soul and running with it, because my guys that left school at the same time too and started spreading.
Right.
So I went to internet radio. I think it was Blog Talk Radio. Don't hold me to that. It might have been Blog Talk Radio, where I was playing music on there and everything, and doing interviews with different people. Like my boy Sterling, I did an interview with him. A couple other people, Tony, a few other guys, and that evolved into Body and Soul Radio when I took it to YouTube. So the part you came in on when I moved into that apartment, came back home, I had the mics and everything, and it was me and Jermaine, and then Royce was with it there for a little while, and we did our show that way. Yeah. And Body and Soul Radio, right? So again, I took what I was doing at WCRD, and it kept evolving, but I did not call it a podcast.
No, was it? That term was around back then.
It was.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how big podcasting was about to become.
Yeah,
we
still had a few years.
On the cups of it.
Yeah, we had a few years.
But also what started around that time that I still use to this day was Real Talk with Ty. That started around that time as well. With Jermaine.
Would you like to explain what Real Talk with Ty is?
Real Talk with Ty has been essentially the same show since 2017. I just stopped doing it at times and dived into sports, because all this started almost around the same time with GTA Sports, 2017, 2018. All that kind of runs into each other. They're all kind of intertwined. But Real Talk with Ty is me. It's me having topics to talk to you. When I don't want to talk about the NBA, WNBA, NFL, I give all that to you guys over here at GTA Sports. Okay. But those who love the music, those who follow me as an artist, as a DJ, as a radio personality, interviewer, Real Talk with Ty falls into all of that. That is the title that falls under, because it's real conversations like what we're doing right now. True. Right? Even us talking about, like, we haven't talked about it yet, but our thoughts on Streamer University. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that. But again, Real Talk with Ty started around this same time, about 2017, 2018, and I started having real conversations, whether it be about my thoughts on hip hop at the time, and it was changing and transitioning. fashion, current events,
Yeah, hot topics.
hot
Man,
topic
you know what I
basically. And now, what it is today, just to kind of speed you guys up to today, is I do album reviews. So classic albums that I played that either inspired me to become an artist or an album I can still play to this day. I call them those
Man.
classic no skip albums.
Yeah,
I put those in a special category. Ones you can play the whole tape. If those who know what cassette tapes, you can play the whole A side, B side, let that roll, right, and just play it all the way through. Classic no skip albums. I do those on there as well. These won't be over here because this is the sports channel. But for those on TikTok, I got you. Just follow me.
Listen, bro, we got so much, bro. Like, it's crazy. So between all that with the music, and then, like I said, even on the radio,
we haven't even touched on the fashion.
That's what I'm saying.
We haven't even tapped into that.
We got long form of like the whole racing stuff that we do, and then the behind the scenes stuff that we do there. They're so dynamic.
And the best part is it ain't just us.
No,
we're bringing more people.
No,
when I say bringing y'all into our world, shout out to KJ Racing Brothers, man. He's not here with us today,
but yes, we were actually supposed to be over there today working on the race car.
So we're bringing more people in, so you guys can see that we don't just you'll see us more consistently.
Correct.
Because we're brothers, so we do everything together.
We're brothers.
Yeah, like that. If you watch Wayne Brothers, if you know, you know. Yeah. But again, we have other people that help bring our vision to life that we want to shine light on and make sure they get their just due as well.
Facts. I've even thought about it too, but I mean, once again, we do some other pretty cool shit outside of.
We really do outside of the 9 to 5s.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like just chilling.
Even the 9 to 5. I mean, I know you haven't tapped into it yet.
I haven't, man.
But
I literally don't get it wrong or get it twisted. I know I'm dressed pretty decent right now, but I get dirty for a living, man. I use my hands. I weld, so I melt metal together for a living. And literally am playing with a mini sun as far as like first of all, the degree of how hot it gets.
Fair.
Secondly, with how hot it gets. I get sunburn occasionally just from welding. Which probably isn't good for the skin.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's one of those things where I've literally worked and built stuff with my hands my entire life. Of course, with Dad, working on cars for a living and owning his own body shop and paint shops. I grew up around him.
Time was way simpler.
Yeah, and learned a lot of stuff with simple things from changing tires or changing oil.
Right.
How to paint cars or whatever else. So I incorporated that into a way to make a pretty good living for myself. And I, still have a 9 to 5, but I have huge ambitions, which I know my brother Ty here shares. You going by Ty or are you going?
Yeah. Okay, all right. You good.
You had a lot of aliases.
Wow.
I'm right there with you.
But I get it. No, I keep it simple. Everything. Like how you showed me the other day, whether you chat GPT or Google me, Ty Slater, it pulls up everything I do. But just because he shared that again, I have the blessing and the pleasure to be able to get up Monday through Friday and be in radio.
Yeah, no, for real.
Shout out to my boy AJ. Late boy. But again, so to be able to do radio Monday through Friday is a blessing, but I also get dirty as well. My night jobs as well, whether it be cleaning schools or cleaning rest stops. Like I do the dirty work as well, because anybody tell you the dirty jobs pay the best.
No, I got 2 dirty jobs,
right?
literally.
So
between the welding,
don't sleep on that.
And I pull trash.
Don't sleep on that.
I do both of those.
And then I also DJ weddings and events on the weekends when I get booked. So I mean, to be able to have multiple streams of income in my field, I love music. I love being able to. I tell everybody I book a wedding with or book an event with, if you need a DJ, get at me. I'm bringing you the soundtrack to your life. And, to be able to, because these are memories you're going to remember forever. So people film it, you got a videographer, you got photos. And the whole time I'm curating the soundtrack to your life of the greatest day of your life or the greatest experience of your life.
Right.
So to be able to touch people's lives like that and then get references and bookings based on my experience with them and doing such a job and getting more people to bring in and they want a DJ to DJ their special day, special moment.
Facts.
I cannot complain. So when I am cleaning toilets or mopping floors at night, I'm thankful because I know I'm doing something in the daytime and occasionally on weekends that I actually love to do. And then when I'm not doing those things, I'm with this guy. I mean, you gotta understand, when you have a younger sibling like this right here,
Yeah, we didn't even touch on that.
We
Yeah,
ain't even
he's older. I'm the little one.
Yeah, he's the baby brother. So again, to be able to have a sibling that's involved in so many dope things and our lines intertwine in so many different ways, it just makes it that much dope. So shout out to our parents, man. They did a hell
No,
of a
I
job.
did a good
They did a
time.
hell of a
I
job.
made the joke, man,
Hell of a
and
job,
just to
man.
get in there, as far as like my humor. I don't know if it's just the fact that my parents had sex at the right time or what, but yo, like they did a good job of both of us, man. So
Man.
I'm very happy with not being an only child, and I've got
Yeah.
being the baby of the bunch. Literally, I've got two older sisters, and of course,
Oh
my
yeah,
older
they're dope
brother.
too. Now we'll try to get them on camera more, but
That
when I say
well, no, Kiera jumped on here.
Kiera gets on there.
She be on
yeah,
live.
but here's the
Yeah.
thing. See the blessing and I don't want to call it a curse, but the pros and cons of having siblings like mine is everybody's always busy. Ask this man. I'm gonna ask you. How hard is it to have a sibling meeting when you try to get us all in the same room at the same time?
No, it's very hard. It's funny. I'm actually like watching ourselves on live right now.
Nice.
It's cool. But anyways, it's very hard to like get all of us in one room all together because everybody's got something going on.
Every
Like,
time.
literally.
Every time. It's not impossible, but it's extremely challenging. Extremely challenging.
No, for real, for real.
So yeah. So having dope siblings, man, is great because you always speak highly of your siblings. They're always doing something dope. They always got something going on. And it's always love when you do finally get them all together and we're able to catch up with each other.
Yeah, because we have so
pretty
much going on, bro.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So yeah, I cannot complain, man. I cannot complain about that.
Yeah, I do. I really. I'm so glad I got siblings.
Yeah, I see other people that grow up without siblings, and it's like, man, you missed out.
No facts.
Like that experience is like priceless. You cannot put a price on that. And the memories you create with your siblings, man.
No facts. Shout out to Coco Snow.
Word.
You're a real one.
We didn't even touch on Coco Snow. That's funny. That's funny. Oh man. So yeah, I got you guys pretty much up to speed, man.
No, but yeah, the snows.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Shout out to Coco Snow.
Yeah, shout out to Coco Snow.
But the thing is, GTA Sports came about basically because I had slowed down doing music. I started having kids. I started having a family, and music kind of took a back seat for a little while. I was dealing with writer's block, and I was trying to find ways to be creative through the writer's block. And if you're an artist, you understand it is like the most frustrating that you want to make music, but the music you're making just doesn't. It ain't hitting. It don't sound right. It don't feel right.
From a different standpoint, I get it. From
Yeah.
writing the scripts for
the struggle,
the Coco Snow
The struggle.
stuff, or for
Right.
a lot of the videos I do for
Right.
racing, it doesn't just hit right.
And because basketball and music literally were at the beginning of my life, hand in hand. One hand was a boom box, a
Yep.
mini boom box. The other hand was a basketball. Once I stopped playing ball, I still had a love for the game. I still had the IQ, and I wanted to share my IQ with the world. I still wanted to share that experience and be able to talk what I knew about the sport because I studied it so as a student of the game. I studied it, and I got with shout out to Amir and Glennis, man, and we had this idea, and GTA Sports was born like that with our initials, Glennis, Ty, and Amir. We just put it together, and at the time, the Indiana Fever, as we mentioned, were in the dark ages. They weren't winning anything, and we started getting in. Shout out to our granddad because granddad got me in there and did his thing. Shout out to granddad for that. And made that connection happen. And long story short, man, it was a beautiful experience, and it grew into something way bigger than I expected. Mainly after the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic really.
Well, that's what sent my ass back here.
Yeah, really. The pandemic really set a lot of the things we're doing now into gear. Because as he's gonna probably touch on, it shut down a lot of things for him, and he had to pretty much reset. And for me, because there was no sports, I still had the idea of making a sports podcast talking about sports, even though there were no sports going on at the time.
No, not really.
And we didn't know when it was gonna come back either.
That was a scary time.
So it was a different time, and everybody was in the house.
Yep.
So if you had a platform, that was the time to really get something started.
Yeah, man, we are so late.
Oh, we are compared to some of the other ones that capitalized on the pandemic.
Yeah,
we definitely.
There was no reason for me to be working in a warehouse at the time where I could have
me, what over here having to get permission to be out on the streets at a certain time just to go to work.
I had that because at the time I was still working with NASCAR, and
you had that permission to be outside.
Yeah, somewhere I still have a letter from the mayor of New Hampshire because I had a race up there I was officiating for, and they literally was basically lining out like, hey, you can go from the airport to the racetrack, then back to the airport, fly your ass out of here, because if we catch you outside, that's your ass basically. Because like I said, I had to
Hey, HD, what up, man? Pacers going to the chip. You already know.
Yes, sir.
We live, baby. We live.
You see the hat? You see
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, baby, we live.
That was a crazy time. Like I said, that's the only reason I ever downloaded DoorDash, anyways.
Yeah,
so I couldn't go nowhere.
And shout out to HD. I'm glad he got on this live, man, because he played a pivotal role during this transition, helping me produce. Shout out to he said Pacers going to the chip. I seen that there. He played a pivotal role in helping me learn how to be a producer when it comes to executive produce, what I do now. Jermaine was doing all that for me at the time. I just anybody tell you, I've said it a million times over. I love being in front of the camera. The behind the scenes stuff, I was like, I don't want nothing to do with it if I don't have to. That is so tedious. The editing that goes into the behind the scenes is so tedious. And Jermaine HD was my videographer, my beat maker. He get on songs with me, one of the coldest rappers in the city. Shout out to Pro Style. And he did everything. So Body and Soul Radio, Jermaine HD was executive producing all of that, and definitely showed me the way. So producing like a champ now, G. Yeah, hey, I'm trying. Hey, I learned from the best, man. I learned from the best. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give credit where credit is due, man. So between Jermaine HD, Amira King, aka Magic Shots, I know she's gonna probably see this later. Of course, Glennish. Again, like I said earlier before he got on here, everybody that's been a part of this story, I want to make sure I bring everybody into our world. There are people behind us that you may not see that bring us to you. So for example, before we get too far away from it, I want you to touch on the video we just did for KJ at the racetrack, because we got a lot of love on that, and I want to make sure everybody involved. I want to make sure everybody involved gets their credit, because and even though I know I do my part to make sure I contribute, just being a big brother, whether it be helping KJ with some things or shooting certain parts, but I'm not the only one that had my hands in that. And I want to let you go ahead and touch on that.
You're good. So for those who don't know, like I said, I'm a current drag racer here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I also have a friend of mine who also races. My partner in crime is Kelvin King Jr. Goes by KJ. Or Kelvin, either or. But I recently did a video for him on YouTube on my channel. And we ended up, this is by far my best performing long form.
That was a beautiful video, man.
And dude, I think I impressed myself with certain angles and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
that GoPro's a motherfucker.
Dude, that first person stuff, like I said,
we're bringing them into it like they're there.
We're gonna have to figure out more ways to go live even at the racetrack. Like we got all that downtime. This is as long as like stuff is like shot up and everything. And
man, you know what? Like I'm wondering if when we have a shooter down there with us next time, have them go live instead of shooting.
Yeah, we have to take one of our phones and do it.
Yeah, and go live.
Yeah, it'd probably be mine or yours, either or, because between the sports network and then my personal one, or even just the Racing Bros one.
Everybody needs a team, takes a village. Amen.
Oh, it do, and that's been both of our biggest downfalls. We try to do everything.
We are guilty of wearing too many hats. No pun intended. We wear too many hats between the two of us, and we're just now, in my honest opinion, financially getting to a point where we can start delegating and bringing in more people.
Yeah.
Because before that was the biggest thing financially. We just couldn't afford it. I mean, everybody wants to work for something. Nobody really wants to work for nothing. Let's be real.
Well, right. And the other thing was too. So whether it be a financial standpoint or just really not knowing the right people to reach out to, so that's also been a big factor.
Absolutely. But again, if you haven't already, go to WT3 Racing's YouTube and check out the most recent post. That video right there of Kelvin King. It should have a dragster, King Racing. It should be the three of us pushing the dragster toward the staging lanes.
Yeah.
I will say outside of our racing videos, that of course there's more coming on that.
Yeah.
But that was by far the best weekend we've had as adults.
Yeah.
Race-wise.
It
That was like the best one.
It
so far.
captured like
Yeah.
the true feeling of usually how stuff goes at the racetrack.
Yeah,
Where
and
you
everything
got,
was clicking.
You got some highs and you got some lows.
But everything still clicked.
And then you have stuff that you just never would have imagined would have happened in a good way.
Oh yeah. And for those who don't know, the drag racing community in general, is a very close knit community.
Yeah. Everybody wants to see everybody win.
Yeah, everybody's there to make sure
we're super competitive in the sense of we get to the line, it's like, I want to make sure I beat your ass and everything. So I can talk shit afterwards. But
they all want you to be able to make the pass.
Yeah, I want to make sure you're up there at your
competitive.
best.
Yeah, and competitive.
So I can whoop your ass.
There you go.
And talk about
there you go. There you go.
So that's huge, man. And you know, KJ's. I have to give it to him. He's even inspired me at times to make sure that I'm on my A game. I'm like, man, I gotta get back out here.
And vice versa, because there were times where he wasn't racing.
Yeah, he would.
He was with us. He's like, I should have brought my car out.
I gotta get back out here,
man.
So and once again, attributing to the whole team aspect of it. That's why that's so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why like literally, like I said, today this is a spare of the moment. We were like, you know what? Let's go on live.
Iron sharpens iron.
It does.
Bottom line. So and without having the team, it's gonna impact your performance. Mm-hmm. It's gonna impact your way of thinking, and it's gonna impact your efficiency.
No facts.
You gotta have a team.
How long has your thing been going?
Looks like what did they say about an hour? Is it about an hour? Am I reading that right?
Damn, 50 minutes. Wow. Okay. Is there a limit on YouTube's?
I guess when you're over 1,000 subscribers, no.
Okay. We can keep rolling. I'm at about 15% on my phone.
We'll wrap up with you, man. We can always come back.
You're good. Like I said, this is once again
we can always come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
yeah, but
let's see. You see anything else on there?
No.
Nah, man. But it don't matter to me. Like I said, this is kind of like just a trial run. We need to figure out how to do this like more often.
Yeah. That's the thing. Our schedules. We gotta find a way. I kind of got an idea. It just depends on, it really depends on what you do immediately when I get off and when you get off. Because I know you got workout and you go to your job. So it's somewhere on the days you don't have meetings, that pivotal time where we're both downtown.
Yeah.
We might need to try to incorporate that.
Yeah, if you're available to come down here and work out or do whatever.
Try to get that done.
Yeah, because the only thing is I know, well, it will still work out because, you know, I do work a little bit of overtime now. So, yeah, it still works.
Yeah, we have to give it a go. We'll have to figure something out.
All right. Well, so wrap this up for right now. Yeah. And shoot, we'll see y'all on the next one.
All right. Peace.
Yeah.
Till next time.
See y'all.
We out of here.